And hi everyone, I'm Sarah Shuey. Whoa, that was Big Bang, in case you didn't know. I'm Sarah Shuey, and I'm the founder and CEO of Happily, which is the largest network of virtual event specialists. And every Wednesday at 2 p.m. PST, I come on to LinkedIn Live and to YouTube Live, and I bring up a friend and a colleague to share their wisdom and insight about things that can be really helpful and useful for you as you're navigating this new virtual reality. And today I have Miss Katie Byron, and look at Katie's beautiful photo. Katie, I'm gonna bring you up now. Katie, hi, say hi to everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're here. Katie, we've actually known each other for a while, huh?
Yep. Yeah. So it's nice to be here on the internet with you in this weird virtual space.
Yeah, I know. And is this your home? Is this where you're coming?
This is my home. I feel like I'm going to be saying what I think about Zoom backgrounds, but I realize mine is suffering a little bit too. But I feel like we can talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Because it looks amazing, and so I'm not sure.
I have a sword on the wall, and so in the film industry, we when we have close-ups like this, we have to look at what's happening, and I'm like, oh, there's a sword sticking in my head. That's probably a bad idea. Probably should cover that, with my head or something.
I was just waiting for it to be a prop, and then you just pulled it out.
So yeah, that's one thing, and I feel but otherwise, I feel like it's pretty good.
I know. I was like, can you just move to the side now? Because I'm just gonna look at your sword in your head the whole time. But this is great. So your official job is production designer, right?
Yeah. So I am a production designer. Yeah.
Is this tell me about this. Are you so production designers have their own business essentially, right?
Yeah. So a production.
Or do you work for someone, or is there a?
Well, you can.
Oh, did I lose you? Let's see, Katie, I think your internet was frozen. So we'll wait for you to come back. And you're back.
Okay. So yeah, what we were saying is what is a production designer like? Do I work with a company?
Yeah, what's the business setup? Are you an independent? Do you have a company, or how does it work?
I'm an S corp, but that's not necessarily. You don't need to be an S corp. Most production designers are independent contractors, unless you get a deal with a studio or something, or a TV show that keeps you on for years. I don't know anybody in that position, but yeah, we're basically independent contractors, and so I have an S corp, and I hire myself, and I fired myself recently.
Ooh, what did you hire yourself for?
Well, I'm president of Katie Byron Incorporated.
And you need a gavel or a plate.
I know, and I have no other employees, just me. But yeah, when
so you're employee of the month every month.
Employee of the month every single month. And, yeah, and so I when this lockdown coronavirus thing happened, and I realized oh shit, film industries collapsing, temporarily, but for a long amount of time. My accountant told me to fire myself, which was kind of a weird act. You have to go to your payroll company and just be firing this employey, and it's me.
Why did you fire yourself? Why would he?
So that you can collect unemployment.
Oh, because of that whole thing.
Because you're technically not getting any work. You're technically unemployed, but you're not, because you're employed. You're an employee of yourself. So
right.
So yeah.
Whoa! Did you look up, because unemployment it's actually probably the good move, because that's more reliable than the PPP or whatever it is that.
Yeah, well, the PPP wasn't around yet, so I didn't, it wasn't an offering, but it actually works out to be a benefit just to go unemployment. Plus, it's also, the PPP is just so much paperwork. It's
yeah,
it just looks impossible. So
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go through your background a little bit. So Production designer. You do film, TV, and commercials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you do most of, though?
Film.
Ooh, très artiste. And then, okay, so, and you went to UC Berkeley, which is where Coco went. And so, like, we have, like, a special place in our hearts for Berkeley.
Oh, that's the best, yeah.
Go Cal. In architecture, wait, you have an architecture degree?
No, I actually dropped out of architecture, and then I moved to art practice. So I like started in architecture, and then I like made a switch. So I didn't actually get the degree.
Why did you make the switch?
I felt like one of the reasons why I was like I've always been interested in space. As a child, I would like do floor plans and like study environments. And so I thought that I wanted to go into architecture. But then when I was in architecture, I realized that I was like more interested in like what happens to a space over time and how it transforms, it tells a story rather than just like the raw bones of it. So I had this kind of like wake up where I was like, maybe I don't like architecture. And then the only other thing I could think of is like, well, I guess I like art. And like maybe I could do like installation art that speaks to my like love of space, which then just naturally became production design because it was like, working with like the musicians in our community to like, do music videos for them and to just it sort of just like naturally went into designing spaces that told stories. So
yeah. When did that happen? Like what was your first gig?
Oh man. Well, my first gig was actually I was the art director of a movie called Ossie and Ted's like Wild Adventure, and it was directed by the guy that wrote the theme song for the Inspector Gadget.
Whoa! Like he's famous.
But yeah, so it's funny you say that because I was like I had just moved to LA from the Bay Area. And I took this job and I was like starstruck because I like didn't know, like I didn't know any famous people at all.
You're like, now I just had like a Zoom with Justin Timberlake, whatever.
Well, it's just one of those things where like, it's like living in LA and being part of this world, like you do interact with,
That's true.
Surprising. But at that time I was like, dude, this guy is famous. He made that song. Like that's huge. Yeah, so that was like my first job, and it was like just me basically.
What's the difference between an art director? Because you just called yourself an art director. You're like an art director and a production designer.
So an art director is kind of like, well, on a film like that, you're just second in command to the production designer. But on a big movie, an art director like is mostly in charge of like the built sets and the running the crew. And yeah, the production designer, it's just basically like an art director is like underneath the production designer.
I just remember I took a production class at SC, and it was like we used to sketch spaces, right? Is that what you do? You're drawing spaces, giving notes on. I can't draw that well. I'm not trained in art and didn't practice enough. Man, now I wish that I asked you for your sketches because I would like love to see those, or like the evolution of like a sketch. That's just so wonderful to see. You should do another video, or I'll help you do another video so we can watch you do
that. I love that. Well, what's funny is I used to be really afraid of my sketching ability, and then I stumbled upon this book of Robert Smithson's sketches. The landscape architect, or the environmental artist. And I saw how badly his sketches were. And like, oh my God, maybe it's cool. Like, maybe like anybody can sketch and it's okay. And it doesn't have to be like, perfect. And I'm a little like, if this was like 7 years ago and you said that, I would like freak out. But now I'm just like, yeah, you want to look at bad sketches? I got lots of them.
Oh, cool. Okay, great. Yay. Yay for like the 7 years in the future, Katie. Okay, cool. Well, actually, can we go through? I like asked you to send me like pictures of your work so that we could talk a little bit. Oh, there's your face. I love this photo of you so much, by the way. Like, am uncomfortably sitting on. Sorry about that. Okay, so talk to me about this. Like, what should we be looking at? Okay, wait. First, sorry. Sorry. Let me back up. I told you this was not a professional thing. So I brought Katie here today because I've been going to virtual events, like, I don't know, or like Zoom meetings. We all have like multiple times a day. And I don't know about you, but it drives me crazy when I see the like crazy like house backgrounds. And it actually drives me even crazier to see people's bad Zoom virtual backgrounds, like, and but it's been like it's been like a quiet pet peeve. I've been silent about it because everyone's going through a lot, you know, and like, who am I to like judge people's like homes? It's not that I'm judging like homes on like a value thing. It's just like on a presentation thing. It's my like OCD event planner thing. And then I saw on Katie's Instagram story that she was like, can I just please help people with their backgrounds? And I was like, yes, please, let's talk about this. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. And I think like, truthfully, like a white wall can be beautiful. You know, like it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, I'm always like, whoa, like that white wall though, like lit all crazy and you know, so you don't have to do much.
I'm like, what do you think about my background?
I love your background. I love your background because it's like, it looks like a graphic designer did it.
Coco did it. So wait, can I show you something? I like think about this all the time. So I have like a thing here. And I'm always like, should I have my curtain open or should I have my curtain closed? Does that say anything about me?
Interesting. You know, I feel like I like the sort of, like, it's almost like this is an elegant set.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, like, and I think it works really well because, like, you know, what you're wearing is like popping, and your glasses, and you're like such a beautiful, bubbly person, and like you don't need like a lot of like activity in the background.
So generally, well, let's not say it's not generally like, but at least for me, the loneliness is good. I just do it because I've been like recording videos and like, and I edit into the night, and then I realize that I just need something consistent. And when this is open, you can tell what time of day it is.
Yeah,
it's like a practical choice.
No, and I think that one thing that like I thought of, you know, is you have to actually like, yeah, there's like really interesting backgrounds, but like what connects you to the like story is like whether or not like, you know, yeah, like there's a lot that's involved with like, you know, because you can have a really complicated, cool background and then all of a sudden feel disconnected to what the person's saying because you're like, well, what does that thing say? That thing, you know, like your eyes will be like drawn to things in the background, trying to sort out the puzzle, and then you're like lost what the person's talking about.
I thought it was really beautiful when you described like your like, you know, your sort of like transformation from architect to production designer. It was like the motivation for that was because you wanted to tell like the story of the space. I thought that was like a really beautiful way to describe what you do. And I'm excited. So like now let's go back to like showing your stuff because I think that so my like frustration with I would love for you to help me like be able to communicate, you know, like better and understand like what I'm seeing in other people's screens, right? And like why do I have like emotions about it?
Yeah. Well, so this slide you just pulled up is from the movie Booksmart, and it is Molly's bedroom, played by Beanie Fieldstein, and it's like, you know, for us, we wanted to conjure up ideas of like, you know, sort of like a solemn kind of nostalgia vibe, wispy, sweet, and so like. Like with this, I would say if it's like out of focus in the background, like this stuff could work. But like this is if she was if she was like sitting in front of this backdrop, we would like be really trying to figure out who she is based on like the world around her, and we probably would be pulled out of the story a bit because we'd want to be like, or the OCD people, we have to constantly be thinking about them too, because the OCD people will be like putting stuff away in their head, you know, and so
Mm-hmm.
or just like bring it back to the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, cause like, and I also think that the big text for me, like, I can't stop looking as soon as I spot, like, cause people also see things left to right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as soon as I got to like, we should all be feminists, I couldn't move off of that.
Yeah.
You said wispy and then I went to the curtains, right? But because I do love that color pink a lot. Is that her?
That's her. Yeah. So, you know, this I feel like is like, you know, this is Amy's room, and Amy's room is like a bit more tidy. And I feel like if I was to have a Zoom conference in this space, I feel like I would, you know, the first thing I would do is take that like pillow thing that's on the bed out of the way. But I feel, yeah, and then I think because the poster in the back is like pretty like simple, you could probably get away with like this space as is. Maybe like remove the megaphone. But you know what's funny is I feel like we should have uploaded like dad Zooms as well, because there's this one of Mitt Romney that is like, have you seen his Zooms background?
No.
He's like up against a family photo wall, and it is like, it's so obvious he's like, I'm a family man. Like, it's just like, you know, so it's like you can have photos up, but you just want them to be far enough away that you're not like trying to figure out what they are.
That's interesting. So like the subtlety is actually really important.
Yeah.
Right, because you kind of want your background to like punctuate or like support what you like, the person that you are and what you're trying to say.
Yeah. And then another thing about this is like, you know, part of the design, you know, you want to make in film, you want to make backgrounds and sets kind of like fall away a little bit. And so this one, you can see it's really homogenous in its color palette, so that, you know, so if I was to sit in front of this set, I would wear like a dark burgundy or a brown, like what Beanie's wearing.
So contrast is also really important.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have anything to say here.
Yeah, no, this is like I like her beret. Can I say something about this?
Sure.
So the one thing that made me sad about not having a wedding in person, I had rented this dance floor. This like, is it an infinity mirror LED dance floor?
It's not oh wait, no, I think it is. I think it
is. I know, because I've looked at this dance floor so many times, and it was like the one thing that Coco and I got in a mini argument about.
It's like, what do you do if you move it into like your house? It's like, you know, you're, you know, yeah.
It would have been amazing. But but so, okay, so this is such a fun space. Mm-hmm. What party was going to happen inside of here?
Like the rich kid in high school rented a yacht to have like a graduation party, and then nobody came to it because he's also kind of an unpopular guy. So we wanted him to like, we wanted the party to feel like big and special, and its emptiness almost sort of like really kind of depress you, you know, like we wanted it to be like all out visually, but also a little lame, you know. And so,
oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't get this dance floor. Like, seriously, thank you so much, because I've still been sad about it, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, I like just avoided like super sad and lame, because that would have been me. It would have been like the two of us with nobody there.
Well, yeah, because there is something, I mean, actually I felt like the space was pretty fun to be in, you know, just by yourself and like dancing on that floor. But yeah, it's supposed to illustrate like that this guy has gone all out and he has no friends, and
that's amazing. I think that, I mean, it's like done well. Ooh, this is beautiful.
So this is the theater kids party, and so we shot this at a house in West Adams, and yeah, like I don't know, I feel like this is a perfect Zoom background.
I do too. I'm like, I want to be in here.
I think another thing is if you are doing Zooms at night, the most important thing is to like think about the type of lighting that you use.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's warm or cool, and like if you're doing a Zoom at night, maybe don't have like your top. I actually learned that it's really common for everyone to use overhead light in these Zooms. But there are creative ways, like when I log into my production designer like town halls, nobody uses overhead light. Like it's all practical, doing really beautiful things in the background. And so that's one thing that's interesting.
That is really interesting. And like, when should you go warm and when should you go cool?
Well, I think it depends on kind of, I would say always go warm, but I actually have like a nighttime look for this house that like looks really nice. And my lamp in the back got a yellow glow to it. And then I have a red lamp that's off camera. Mm-hmm. And then I have like these lights above me that I sort of dim are like on a warmer yellowish kind of glow, and so it feels really sort of magical and whimsical in ways. But I think playing with lighting is a way that you can take like a really boring empty room and like make it really interesting.
Yeah, I do love the warmth. I love this palette too.
Yeah. So
house, I was like, it looks like the same wallpaper. Sorry, that's what I was looking at.
This is a completely different movie. This is Color Out of Space.
Oh.
And, yeah, I feel like let's see. Yeah, this film was shot like really dramatically, so it's probably a weird reference for Zoom. But I can say that when I started Zooming, my preference was, like I love movies where people are backlit, so I'm just gonna be backlit because everyone wants to see that, you know. And I got like my wrist slapped quite a bit because everyone would be like, I can't see you, and I'm like, but that's kind of what is cool.
Yeah.
So one thing I did learn is that like the tricks that we learn in filmmaking and production design don't necessarily always, apply to Zooms. But yeah.
But knowing those things you can make a conscious decision about that, like when you wanted to do something that provided a different mood or experience for folks.
Yeah. Well, another thing is I was noticing that that on the Senate panel there were like people that were like off to the corner, which was like a real like obvious decision, right? They wanted to like show off something, like the dog on the dog bed, or there's people, you can tell when somebody really wants to feature their background, they'll sort of just be off camera a little bit, or to the left or to the right. And so I feel like that's a trick that we do in like photography and filmmaking that doesn't also apply, like it doesn't work in Zooms. Like you're gonna be like staring into the back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, like what I was thinking is like maybe, here's a question we've gotten a couple of questions, but one question that like I also have, which I kind of like mentioned, but then would love to hear your opinion on it because I had a strong one. But like, do you suggest Melissa Brown, hello Melissa, says, do you suggest we design our own background space or use those virtual backgrounds?
Oh man, I think the virtual backgrounds are really fun and really cool. I don't know. I mean, I love when I see people's real spaces. That's always going to be like my preference, but I do feel like that the virtual backgrounds are kind of fun, and I'm not even that bothered by the fact that people like disappear into them or like, but it does seem, I anytime I do see a virtual background though, I either think, oh, this person wants to be clever, or this person wants to hide something. So that is something that's in my mind when I do see them.
I'm also typing into the chat, like, brave enough to have your background and analyzed by professional, jump into the computer. Just for the next few minutes that we're here, like that link will work, and otherwise that link doesn't work. So, oh, but I don't know if I did that correctly. Leash. Oh, I can't. I have to do it separately inside of LinkedIn. Okay, wait. While I'm figuring that out, talk to me about this one.
Okay, so this is a built set for the film Color Out of Space, and it's an attic set that we built inside of another building, and yeah, we this was all this film happened in Sintra in Portugal. So yeah, I think that, you know, one of the things about this set is that the only light that was used is the light from the window. And so with this, like if you were in a space that had like some really beautiful window casting a lot of light in, like actually you can see my background. I've got a big window light back here that's just like blowing out the background. You have to like make sure that you know, add more light to your foreground. So, you know, if there was somebody in the very front of this image, you would need to have like light on their face to deal with that background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like just generally, I also like, I think a lot of people don't realize, like back to your point about the backlighting, like that they don't realize that when you put your just move in front of a window, that it gives so much like light and warmth and make a really even super dark room. Like you can still be seen in a super dark room.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, so in the space that I'm in right now, like I'm using like one front light, but mostly it's just sunlight that pours into my house. My house isn't actually that great for Zoom because it's just so full of light. It's like kind of hard to, you know, sometimes it's like the spaces that don't have that much light, like, and you can control it, like it's just sunlight coming through a couple windows is good, you know, but mine it's like it's coming from every direction.
Okay, so I keep this, that was really fast. I try to keep this to like 30 minutes, 2:30 on the dot. We get everybody like back to other work.
Yeah.
But before we do, I play a game with folks that I invented, and it's called, well, I think I change the name every time, but it's something to the effect of good job, bad search. Good name, bad search, something like that. Anyways, here's how the game works. So I searched your name, Katie Byron, on LinkedIn because this is my LinkedIn. Okay, and I found a person named Byron Katie, and I'm going to show you Byron Katie. Do you know who this person is?
Of course I knew who Byron Katie.
Oh my god, of course. I was like looking at this and I was like, wait, I was like, I bet Katie Byron is this, it's not like your mom, is it?
No, it's not my mom. No, you know, it's funny. She's I mean, she's so famous and so she's I get a lot of her fan mail, and it's really kind of heartbreaking sometimes because this fan mail I get is like, you know, some of it is like, well, first of all, you should tell who Byron Katie is.
You should tell you. I didn't know who she was. You do. You're the first guest that's known the doppelgangers, so this makes me so.
What did you gather right away? What was your first?
Well, that's the game. So then I like show the people, and then I'm like blah blah blah. Like, and I was gonna ask you like, what does she do? Where does she live? And what is her background like?
Since I know, then maybe you should do it.
Oh my god, I'll totally do it. Well, I kind of know though, because so Kate, this is what I do know, so you can correct.
Okay.
So Kate, well, and at least when I first saw her, I was like, this woman is cool. Like she's an author. That's what I thought immediately. And it turns out that she is, right? Yeah. And but she lives in Ohio. I know this from the search. And she's she calls herself the founder of The Work, which I've heard people, my friend Christine Lai, she's always talking about do the work. And I'm like, I'm always working. Like, I don't understand. And like, it really wasn't until just now that I realized what she meant by that. But The Work, I mean, can you explain what The Work is?
Oh man. So The Work is basically like, so Byron Katie used to have like a really hard life. And then she like turned it all around using these 4 principles. And it's called, and those 4 principles make up The Work. And so she's written so many books, and she's like super famous self-help guru, but she really just says the same thing over and over and over again, which are these 4 principles. and I don't really remember them, but I'm going to say that one of them is so like let's say like I am like nervous about getting a job and I'm scared about, or let's just say the pandemic, and the first thing she says is to ask yourself is it true? And then you have to say like, well, I don't know if it's true. I think it's true. I'm not sure. And then you ask the next question of, what would I be without the thought? And then the next thing is what would I don't know. It's basically like how to just like to kind of wake yourself up to what the real problem at hand is. Like, but yeah, I forget what the actual form.
You're good. Like I found it online. Hold on, I don't know if I have to share a different screen, but yeah, you're good. So the 4 questions are: is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you react? Who would you be without that thought? That's a really powerful question.
Yeah. And so it's funny, I've read her books because I'm like, well, I've got to know what she's up to. And I find them a little cold, or have found them cold, because I'm like, but what about all the other questions, or but I think that her work has lasted so long. I mean, she's gone. I feel like self-help gurus usually like rise and fall and rise and fall, or disappear, or get attacked with scandal, and she's been pretty consistent on the rise ever since she started. So
it's a good name for the 2 of you to have. So have you met Byron, Katie?
Oh no, she's like very famous. Like the fan mail I get for her is like people saying like, I flipped my life around. I owe it to you. Like, I'm a different person now. And then, she's doing good work, I guess. But yeah, she's too famous for me to meet.
It's so funny. She was like my second LinkedIn. I don't know. There's a lot of people that are like way more like famous than me on LinkedIn famous. So that know her.
That's amazing.
But anyways, so Byron, Katie, it's amazing that you share the flip of your name with someone so amazing, and it doesn't surprise me because you are amazing.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, thanks for having me.
Totally. Everyone follow Katie Byron. I don't know if do you LinkedIn, like, because that's where like most of the people I think that are watching this.
I do have a LinkedIn. I don't know. I feel like
okay. Find her on LinkedIn. Find her on the Instagram. And yes, ask Katie to help you with your virtual background. Will you help people?
I'm so excited to help.
She'll help you. And if you're doing
mistakes too.
Yeah, but at least you notice them, honestly, because if you didn't point that out, I wouldn't have noticed.
Amazing. So. All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Katie. Love you. Bye. Okay, thank you so much. That was so fun chatting with Katie, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. I doubt you did because I had a lot of fun. And next week, join us again. Oh my gosh, you know who we're going to talk with? We're talking with DS Chun, who is an experimental filmmaker that directed the karaoke music video for my cyber wedding, and he also did the end credits, and like we're going to talk about collaborative filmmaking and filmmaking from a distance, because DS and I have never met in person, but I literally call him oppa, which means like brother, like older brother in Korean, because we've like become that close. So I can't wait for you all to meet my oppa and for us to all learn a little bit more about his wizardry in filmmaking. So that's it for today. I hope you all have a great day, and be kind and happy with everyone that you meet. That's all. Goodbye.